They're going to share some of the hard times they had, some things that happened, but then they still got it together and became very successful. And we want to encourage you that sometimes, we talked to this same group a couple weeks ago about your testing and your MAP scores and how some of us have not been performing where we should be, and so we've had some tough times. But most of you said that you're going to change and start giving 100% and doing your very best, right? Remember that conversation we had? So we brought them in so they can share with you what happens if you do get it together. And if you decide to give 100% and do your best in school so you can have a successful life. So we want you to put on your thinking caps and really be reflective as they share with you. And we get ready to go home for winter break. And over the break, we want you to think about what they share. And that way, and think about what you can do when you come back in January so you can make sure that your life is successful and turns out great, just like theirs did, okay? So this is a great time for us. We're getting ready to go home in a few hours. You're going to be home for a winter break. You're going to have a great Christmas. But while you're at home, I want you to be reflective. What does that mean? Think about some of the things that you heard today and how you can apply it to your life so you can make sure that you be successful and reach all of your goals. You understand? So I want you to give them your very best attention. I want you to sit straight ahead. There is no talking, no playing. We're going to be respectful and listen to their stories so we can learn. Okay? Are you ready? All right.
Good morning. Good morning. First of all, that was weak. We'll try that again. Good morning. Good morning. Like she said before, my name is Jordan Hinnant. I'm 19 years old. I actually grew up in the city beside y'all. I grew up in Rockville, South Carolina. I was actually one of your teacher students back when I was age. I ain't gonna say which one, but if you want to say that later on, we needed that. I was kind of like a trouble kid growing up. I had behavior issues. I had anger management issues. I had all that stuff. It started when I was in elementary school. Like I would lash out in anger. I would throw tail tantrums and stuff like that. I would throw stuff, kick stuff, do all these things. And it not only affected me in school, meaning like I had to be in specific classes. I couldn't do certain stuff. I couldn't go certain places. I had to have special accommodations with me, in school, but also affected me outside of school, meaning I was in trouble a lot. I couldn't do a lot of things. I couldn't, go a lot of places. I couldn't, do a lot of things like a regular kid would do. Also, it gave me a bad reputation. So now I essentially had people looking at me like a certain way, basically waiting for me to have my next episode, waiting for me to pop off, waiting for me to do all these things. And then it made all the people around me in school scared of me. Basically saying they would look at me and they would be afraid of me. They would be like, they wouldn't want to tell me, they wouldn't want to talk to me, they wouldn't want to do nothing with me because of the way I acted, right? So then that cycle was going on for I want to say 5+ years. So from preschool all the way to like third grade, I was going through that cycle. I was going through that cycle of dealing with anger. I was going through that cycle of dealing with all this different stuff until I was like 9 years old, and I had to make a decision. I told my dad, I said I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to have that reputation anymore. I want to change. So me and my dad sat down with my mom. I said, my dad, it was like, look, okay, if you want to make this change, it's just what you got to do, right? You got to stop lashing out. You got to learn to control your anger. You got to learn coping mechanisms. You got to learn how to calm yourself down before you get to that point. You got to learn all these different things. So essentially, it took me a while to get there, but eventually I got there, right? So then I got to high school, and it all basically came together. It all basically was fine, right? I was able to deal with anger. I was able to control myself. I was able to, do all these things. I even ended up doing something I didn't think I would be able to do. I got to college. I didn't think I would be in college because of my anger. I didn't think I would be in college because of the way I behaved. I also was able to join my reserve. I didn't think I would be able to do that either because of the way I did. But it just goes to show that how you start doesn't mean that's how you got to say. So if you start off now as a bad kid, or you got struggles now, or you got different things you're going through now, you don't got to stay that way. But it's all on your mental. It's all the choice you decide to make, right? So if you see yourself going down this path, you see yourself going through these things, you got to ask yourself, okay, do I want to stay like this, or do I want to better myself? Do I want to keep having this bad reputation? Or do I actually want to go somewhere in life? Do I want to stay being this bad kid, or do I actually want something out of myself? And can't nobody make that decision for you. It's something you got to make yourself. It's something you got to ask yourself. It's something, and then once you make that decision, you got to walk that decision out. It's not something that you can say, okay, I want to change, right? And then you go back and do the same thing. Or I want to have better grades, but you go back and you don't do your work. You got to say, I want to change, and then start taking the steps towards making that change out. It starts in your head, right? First you got to change what's going on up here, because what's going on up here is going to affect the rest of your body. Your mind controls your body. So first you got to defeat the battle in your mind. You got to tell your mind, okay, am I capable of doing that? Right? I'm capable of changing. I'm capable of being better. I'm capable of changing the way I act. Right? Then once you get it in your mind, your body will eventually follow. Right? But it doesn't start. It's not a switch. Meaning it's not like, okay, I say this thing and then tomorrow it's gonna happen. Nah. It's a constant process. Life's a process. So you gotta fall in love with the process, and not all times the process is gonna be easy. There were times where I wanted to change, right? But it felt like I was falling back into old habits. So I got frustrated. And I'm telling parents, I'm trying to change, I'm trying to do better, I'm trying to do all these things, but it feels like I'm not changing. And they try to tell me, but look, the fact that you want to change is enough. If you want to change, you make it up in your mind that I'm going to change, I'm going to be better, eventually it's going to happen. But you have to have perseverance. Not everybody has that. That's why most people stay in the cycle they're in, because they don't have the perseverance to go through the hard things, to go through the progressions of life, right? Think about this, right? Think about your favorite athlete. Somebody tell me that. Who's your favorite football player? Who's your favorite football player? Your parents are football player. Y'all know who Travis Hunter is? Who knows who Travis Hunter is?
Me.
Y'all like Travis Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Do y'all think Travis Hunter just woke up one day and won the Heisman?
No.
He did. He had to go through the process. He had to be on the field. He had to watch film. He had to lift weights. He had to work out. He had to take care of his body. He couldn't just wake up one day and win the Heisman. He had to go through the process. Life's a process, right? So if you follow the process, but following the process also accepts the downfall. You also accept that there's going to be challenges. You also accept that there's going to be trials. You also accept there's going to be tribulations, right? But when you accept that, eventually you're like, okay, I'm expecting this, right? So when it hits you, you'll be prepared, right? It'll knock you, it'll shake you, but it won't knock you down, right? So, right? You have to tell yourself, I'm not going to let this knock me down. I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm not going to let this shake me, right? And then once you have that mentality, then eventually you'll be what you want to be, right? So if you're struggling with behavior, if you're struggling with changing yourself, don't get frustrated. It's part of the process. Learn to love the process, but also learn to love yourself. Love your good sides and your bad sides. Nobody's perfect. I'm still not perfect. There are times where I still struggle with my anger to this day. It's not fully gone. But I've learned that's the downside of who I am. But everybody gets mad. But I don't have to let my anger control me. I don't have to let that become my identity. I don't have to let my bad side become my identity. I can lean towards my strengths, right? I'm strong in this area, but I've got this weakness, right? But at the same time, I can know that weakness and try to make it a strength. Try not to let that weakness control me. Because if you let your weakness control you and then become your identity, you're gonna say that's how I've always been. I've always been a bad kid. I've always been angry. I've always dealt with that. I've always been like this. It's not true. Just because that's how you started, that's how you have to finish. Just because that's who you are now, doesn't mean that's how you have to stay. Just because you're struggling now, right? That doesn't mean you have to struggle forever. There's a better side and a brighter side. You just have to work. You just have to work yourself to find it. Thank you.
How y'all doing? On the count of three, I just want to hear y'all say good morning loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Well, my name is Carlo. I'm from Chester. Like Jordan, my path was a little different. And like some of y'all, like he said, he had behavior issues growing up. Me, I was kind of the opposite. I was kind of the respectful kid, the kid that did everything the teachers said, you know. But my path, I went through trouble on the later ends. And what we're here today to do is to kind of help y'all not go through similar mistakes that we went through. Like I said, I'm 45 years old. I grew up in Chester. I live in Atlanta now. But growing up, one thing I want to talk about today is respect and accountability. These teachers, y'all should all respect them. They probably have one of the hardest jobs in America. Coming here every day, of course, dealing with all of y'all, different personalities, you know, angry issues. Some of y'all don't have angry issues. But today, we just, like I say, he came and told the story. My story, I went to Chester High. I graduated in '97. I moved to Atlanta. And I was a kid that never been in trouble before. But then I got to Atlanta and kind of got with the wrong crowd, and I got in trouble. I had to go do 2 years in prison. But after doing the 2 years in prison, I got out and continued on with my life. I'm in Chester pretty much every week doing stuff in the community. Let me ask you this, as a raise of hands. What do y'all feel the word respect means? Respect doesn't always mean just being respectful to your teachers. It could be being respectful to your classmates. So your parents as well, right? Because you have to go home to your parents, but you do have to come back to school to your teachers. You have to be around your classmates every day. So a lot of times, you know, what are some things you feel make you not want to be respectful to your parents or your classmates or your teachers? Who, your parents or your teachers? Oh, okay. When they yell at you, how do you respond? How you feel you should respond? Silence.
Silence whenever they yell at you.
Teachers or the parents?
Both.
Both? Yeah. Because sometimes the teachers be frustrated too. You know, they dealing with a lot daily with different individuals. And I think sometimes you just have to don't react back. You know what I'm saying? When I was in school, it's teachers to this day that from when I was in kindergarten, I still know and respect. You know, some of these teachers, and I don't know if y'all remember Miss Roseboro. She was like in kindergarten. I remember she would, y'all can't get whoopings these days, but she would whoop you in school. You know what I'm saying? Back then. And the teachers they just like your parents. Whatever they last name is, that's how y'all should, you know, call them daily. It's teachers to this day that taught me 40 years ago. If I see them, I'm still calling them by Miss Wilkes or Miss Roseboro. I'm never gonna call them their first name. You know, let's talk about accountability. Who feels they know what accountability means? Raise their hands. Yeah. Accountability means if you do something wrong, just own up to it. Don't put it off on your classmates. If you did something wrong, we all make mistakes. I made a mistake and I didn't want to. I took accountability for it because I had to go do 2 years in prison. But when I got out, I didn't let it affect my future. You know, since I got out, I've opened up at least 6 businesses over the last 20 years. And it's hard work. But like Jordan said, he got in trouble when he was younger, and now, you know, he's in college, he went in the Army. You know, I never went to college, so college wasn't my route. I got in trouble when I started a business, you know, but it all starts at y'all ages now. Y'all think you cutting up now that, you know, you're not an adult. You can get in trouble now. And we're trying to just prevent you all going through certain things now, so when you get an adult or a young adult or whatnot, this can be things that's in your past. Is there any questions? Somebody, I want to ask questions. I kind of can respond more with questions. Anybody want to ask any questions? No, I didn't go in the Army. Jordan did. I went to, I just opened up a couple of businesses over the years. Like I have a luxury car dealership now in Atlanta. Now car dealership in Atlanta. I also build houses and rehab houses in Chester. Like I'm actually going to a closing today at 11 o'clock to close a house in Chester that I'm rehabbing. And I also own a couple of restaurants, co-own a couple of restaurants as well. Yeah.
Can you ask them why the teachers and their parents yell at them?
Why do teachers and their parents yell at y'all? Hello. You've used a great name. That's one of them.
When you be disappointed? When you be disappointed?
That part, yeah. Well, Mike, first, I gotta get home, because I gotta get school here. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we be saying words that we don't want to say.
Huh?
Sometimes we don't be saying words that we're not supposed to say.
That part. Good question. I didn't tell that part. Well, I got in jail. My charge that I got was called conspiracy to commit bank fraud. And this is another part. I never got caught doing anything. And that's, as a kid, I thought the same thing, like, I'm not doing nothing, I can't get caught, somebody else doing it. I was wrong. I had never been in trouble before. I never had a speeding ticket. I'd never been in, as y'all would say, in school suspension, none of that stuff. But I thought I could do something and I could get away with it without doing it. Somebody else was doing it, and then somebody else told on somebody else that I got in trouble. So a lot of times you may think you're doing something, even in school, and you ain't gonna get caught doing it, and then somebody else get caught and tell on you, and then you get in trouble. So to prevent it all, just don't do it, because at the end of the day, whatever you're doing is gonna become big over the course of time, because you won't feel like you're not getting caught doing it. So you're gonna continue on doing it until it becomes a bigger problem. Now, I'm glad I got in trouble when I was 22 years old, and I was able to change, because I wasn't no bad, by no far I wasn't no bad kid. I didn't get in trouble in school. I just figured I could do something and get away with it when I was a young adult. I wouldn't, so I did it, got in trouble, and I had to just own up to it. I did what I did, I had to go do 2 years, but I didn't let the 2 years going to jail, like he said, he get in trouble early. I didn't let it determine my future. Y'all right now are young. Y'all have a future ahead of you. You can be wherever you want to be, So it was called conspiracy to commit bank fraud. And back then, like I was just telling the teachers, I had a friend yesterday that just got sentenced to go do time in jail. But I was able to tell him certain things that he could look forward to when he get there. Now, we don't want none of y'all to have to go through that. That's why we sitting here today, because you can't get into it's bigger trouble than you getting a whooping, punishment. That's small trouble. When you have to go to prison, that's somewhere you don't want to be, That's a good question. Honestly, when you're growing up, you all say you want to be a police officer, you want to be a fireman. That's just things to say. Honestly, it's this, I really don't even know. I mean, the typical things, police officers, firemen, football player, basketball player. But it's so many other things that y'all can do other than that. It's way more. What you want to be when you grow up? See? Are you starting that process now? Don't get off that course. If that's your goal, you got time to do it. Just stay a course. Say it again. No, because like I said, my mom, I was raised in a good family. So I could have been anything I wanted to be. I just chose a different path like some of y'all now. You know, y'all have a path and you will let friends get you off that path or family members get you off that path. That's the part. Don't get off the path that you set, you know.
What do you think you want to do when you grow
Now or
back then?
like I said, I would say football player, you know, stuff that every kid want to be because you see it on TV. But it takes hard work to get there. And a lot of kids these days, they don't put in the work at y'all age. You know, you have to start now to get to the LeBron James didn't start when he was 15 years old. He started when he was third and fourth, fifth grade like y'all. You know, like he said, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter didn't just win the Heisman Saturday. He started like y'all, at y'all age. So y'all at the perfect age now where you could be Travis Hunter or, what's the girl from South Carolina game called, Leah Boston, the other girl, the one that played for the Aces.
Oh, Asia Wilson.
Hey, y'all could be Asia Wilsons and, you know, all these players now, so,
I want to be a Lego designer when I grow up.
huh?
I want to be a Lego designer. It's kind of unique, but I like it.
Say that one more time.
I want to be a Lego designer.
A Lego designer?
A Lego designer.
A Lego designer. Right, so what grade you in now?
I'm in 5th grade and I'm building really big things. Legos.
Now you at the perfect age to start working towards your goal. You be in middle school next, you be in high school, and then you go to college, you know, and be, you know, to get on that course to be what you want to be.
I want to be a hairstylist.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you can start doing people's hair like your friends have now to get on that course, and then when you get out of high school, go to college school. I think they even do that at the career center in high school. So, you know, that's a YouTuber. Yeah, you just
Everybody knows the YouTube nowadays, but I say it's nothing wrong with having a backup plan too. Like I know for me personally, where I'm from, football is the thing. If you ain't playing football, then like, you know what I mean. But for me, I tried to play football, but it didn't work out. But I said I had a backup plan in case it did work out, right? So there's nothing wrong with having a plan, right? But if that doesn't work out, you also need to have something else, right? So you can want to be a hairstylist, right? But you also want to be a business owner. You also want to make clothes. And, you know, there's other ways to branch off from just being a hairstylist. You don't want to have one thing you're good at, right? You want to have multiple things you're good at, right? So I got a cousin. He's a barber, but he also cuts hair. I mean, he cuts hair, he makes clothes. You know, he makes shoes, he makes all this different stuff, right? So don't just limit yourself, right? Be able to have diversity, have, you know, other things like that. One thing I want to say too is he asked earlier, why do teachers rail, right? If I'm not mistaken, right, I heard a little section over there, they were still talking, right? But they asked y'all multiple times to be quiet, right? And then y'all be doing the wrong thing, and then when your teachers get on you about it, you want to ask yourself, well, what did I do? Like they didn't tell you 3, 4, 5 times to do the thing you're still doing. Like y'all, like you did, they asked you 3, 4, 5 times, do the thing you're still doing. And then like you said with accountability, then y'all want to look around and point fingers. Y'all don't think that's fair. It's not fair. It's not fair that you and then y'all want to be treated better, but y'all ain't acting better. You can't expect more than what you get now. So you can't expect not to get in trouble, but you still doing the wrong thing. You can't expect the teacher not to get on you, but you still talk when they tell you not to. You still ain't turning in your work. You still ain't doing what they tell you to do. 9 times out of 10, if you just do what they tell you to do, they'll leave you alone. If you're quiet, they tell you to be quiet, they'll leave you alone. If you stop talking, they tell you to stop talking, they'll leave you alone. If you do your work when they ask you to do it, they'll leave you alone. Like people ask me all the time, well, like you guys all the time, why didn't nobody get on you? Because I didn't do anything. I just sat back and I just did, or I existed. Meaning I did what I was supposed to do, so that I didn't make myself stand out. And if I did make myself stand out, it was in the right ways. Meaning I was the one who always turned in their work. I was the one who did what they was told. I was the one who did what was right. There's nothing wrong with standing out, but you gotta ask yourself, how do I want to stand out? Do I want to be known as the one that's always getting in trouble? Or do I want to be known as the one that's doing it right? See, and I feel like we were talking about this earlier. I feel like social media is a big aspect of that too, right? Everybody want to stand on social media, but what y'all figure out is that's a highlight reel. Meaning it's not real. You're only seeing that highlight of their life, right? But everybody wants to have influence. Everybody wants to stand out. There's nothing wrong with that. But y'all are standing out in the wrong ways. That's not what y'all want to do. Because in the day, now you're building a reputation, right? And then your reputation carries. So then now when some of y'all go to middle school, some of y'all go to another teacher. Teachers talk, they talk, right? So they go tell your teacher, oh yeah, he don't like to be quiet. But yeah, he don't like to do his work. He don't like to do this. He don't like to do that. So now you already walking into that class, and they already know you already got a bad reputation as it is, right? So if you build your reputation early, say I'm gonna have a good reputation early, I'm gonna know it's a good one going in early. Then by the time you get what you want to get, you'll get more opportunities, right? You'll get that. I don't know if you know about this, but when you get older and you want to go to college, there's something called a recommendation letter. Meaning your teachers have to write a recommendation letter for you to get in school, right? So if you're being bad in school, you think they're gonna write a good recommendation letter for you? You think they're gonna say something good about you? What you think they're gonna say?
They gonna say that kid bad.
They gonna say that kid bad, right? Do you want it to be you? I just had to prove it.
RPM Motorsports of Atlanta. Don't stop. Like he said, always have a backup plan. Don't never think you can just do one thing. It's kids y'all age right now that's making money, millionaires as y'all age. So you don't have to become an adult like us to start making money or having dreams and working towards your dreams. Like he said, a lot of y'all, why do y'all feel like y'all cut up? Is it because of your classmates or just thinking it's cute? Why do you think you cut up in school? Like, why do you think you act out, some of y'all act out in school? Why do you think some of y'all classmates act out in school? Because the girls, yeah, that could be it, yeah, good. Yeah, exactly. So when you cut up and cut out whether you're a girl or a boy, you're gonna look bad to your classmates. And then the teachers, like you say, gonna tell other teachers that it's gonna affect you. And then your parents gonna get called. Some of y'all gonna get in trouble. Trust me, it ain't worth it. You can just come to school, do what your teachers say, as well as your parents, and grow up and try to be respectful. Like, a lot of kids these days, even when I was y'all age, we didn't cut up in school because our parents, once we got home, we had to deal with parents. A lot of y'all these days, some of y'all don't have to deal with parents when y'all get home. The teacher is showing you more attention than some parents, which, that's not y'all fault, But I would say, when you come to school, at least try to do everything your teachers say. Don't try to get in trouble because it only affects you down the road. And like I say, some of y'all have to deal with it when you get home, which you could have avoided by not even cutting up at school.
But at the same time, like he said, for the girls and the boys, I'm gonna be honest, don't no girl want no bad kid. And don't no girl, like I'm gonna be honest, don't no girl want no bad kid. They don't. And don't no boy want no bad girl either. They don't. And I know y'all have to think about that right now, but eventually y'all gonna grow up and y'all gonna care about that, right? You have to think about it, like, okay, the life you building now ain't only for you. It could potentially be for your future. Right? So you basically are deciding your future now. You're deciding who you're gonna be now. You're deciding where you're gonna go now. So you gotta look and ask yourself like a couple years down the road, what do I want to be in? Do I want to be sick? Do I want to be walking into high school? I'm ready, I'm prepared, I'm good, or do I want to be walking? I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, cause I say this for me, like, my high school graduation came up fast. And there are people that I graduated with that didn't know what they was gonna do. There are people I was friends with now that they still don't know what they're gonna do because they didn't prepare correctly, right? Sometimes we think we have so much time and we really don't. Like, we really don't have as much time as we think we have. And y'all might think y'all kids now, but y'all gonna blink and y'all gonna be teenagers. And y'all gonna be thinking about the real big important decisions. So like you said before, start preparing now. Start making the necessary decisions now. Start thinking about your future now.
And like I said, this is my first time ever talking to a group of people. And when I was asked to do it, I really didn't. I ain't gonna say I didn't want to do it. I was kind of in fear of getting in front of a bunch of people just talking. But I actually enjoyed doing it because I didn't have people coming that went through stuff like I did, like he did when I was y'all age. So doing it today, I want to just help somebody not get in trouble because the small trouble that you're doing now, it'll lead to big trouble later. Some of you all can be 3 years from now and do something crazy and get in trouble. And you might not go to prison, but I think when you get in trouble at y'all age, y'all go to what they call it, juvenile detention. Yeah, that's just like a kid's prison. And you won't be able to accomplish none of the dreams and as a hairstylist and a YouTuber. Some of them dreams will go away temporarily. Huh?
Maybe a plumber.
Plumber, yeah, exactly. So none of y'all dreams are not far-fetched. You can be anything. Some of y'all can dream and be bigger than what y'all dreamed of. Like I told the teacher, Ms. Gibson, Gasper, I said, this is what I want to do. And this is what I'm gonna do, just because I know sometimes Chelsea cannot be as motivating to kids because there's not a lot of stuff that you have to do in the community. But I told her to pick 4 students, and I'm gonna let the teachers pick the 4 students. Between now, which is like the midway to the end of the school, I'm gonna give $100 each to the 2 most improved students, and I'm gonna give $50 to 4 students that the teachers pick. I'm gonna have them pick a group of students. It could be all of y'all. I'm gonna let them pick. And for the most improved student, I'm gonna give $200 to. So I'm gonna let the teachers get together. So that's gonna be the two kids now that they feel like is doing the absolute worst, but they can be doing a lot better. I'm gonna let them pick. I'm gonna give $200 to those students. So that'd be $200 each. And I can do $200 to a boy, $200 to a girl. And then I'm gonna give $100 to 2 students, a boy and a girl. I'll let them be the decision makers over that. And then I'm gonna do $50. I'm gonna do $200. I'm gonna do 4 $50 to another set of 4 students. So that's gonna be a total of 8 students total. From now, so when you come back after Christmas break, it's gonna start January 3rd. And it's 6th. January 6th. Yeah, January 6th to the end of the school year. Yeah, May 28th. So I'm gonna let them pick, and it could be all of y'all. And then next year, we may do something different. You know, it may be, you can pick out a pair of Jordans for a guy, or pick out something else for a girl. But these teachers, I want all of y'all to be great. So if I can be a part of it, I want to be a part of it. So that's going to be, I think $800 total. $800 total of money that y'all can win or as a reward, as something to encourage y'all between now and the end of the year. How y'all think that is? Good. Who all want to work towards it? Okay.
We're all gonna keep going after they win the money.
Yeah, we don't want you just to win the money and then you stop. This is something that kind of helps you We work on that. Let's start out. The PS5 might be next year for the complete year. It might be a PS5 and something else for, 2 things for the whole group of people to work towards. So we're going to just start out now since it's halfway through school. So you got a fresh start. When you go over your Christmas break, you can start preparing then. But it's going to go from January 6th until May 28th. And I'm going to let the teachers and the principals, they decide the students. And then at graduation, you'll get, whoever wins will get the rewards at that graduation. Y'all think that's a cool idea? Yeah. Okay.
All right, so before we close, I first want to recognize Mr. Carlos' mom. Can you please stand, or she's standing in the back, wave your hand. So give her a round of applause. You see her on a daily basis. So when I see her in the cafeteria, you know who she is. I want to bring back to your attention 2 things. Mr. Jordan said something that stuck with me, and I hope that it sticks with you. He said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I'm going to say that again. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Some of you may not have had a good beginning to this school year. We're getting ready to go on our winter break. But you can come back and you can finish strong. But the choice is yours to make. I am confident, Miss Ashford Niles is confident, and every single one of your teachers is confident that you have the ability to finish strong. Mr. Carlos asked you all, why do your teachers yell at you? I stood back there and I listened to a lot of you give reasons as to why your teachers or your parents yell at you. So that let me know you know what you should not be doing. Again, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. We had these 2 young men come and impart words of wisdom into you. They're willing to donate to you for you finishing strong. And I know that each and every one of you have the ability to do that. Now we, as teachers, are going to have a hard task to decide which students are going to receive this cash incentive. It's going to be hard because I know y'all are going to come back and y'all are going to work harder than I have ever seen you work before. But that's all that we ask of you. But right now, I want you all to give the loudest and most appreciative applause to these gentlemen for coming to speak to you today. So Mr. Jordan and Mr. Carlo, on behalf of the astronauts, myself, and our students, we want to thank you all for these words of wisdom, your time that you're willing to put in for our students. We are very grateful. And I think Ms. Carl Glassford has a presentation. I'm going to give the microphone to her. But again, thank you all. We are so very appreciative.
Thank you. Very short and sweet. But whenever I've been knowing Carlo for a while. He's my friend. And I saw his video on Facebook, and I asked him if he would come in and talk to my students. He hesitated at first, but then he came. So we appreciate you, and this is a small token of appreciation from the COLT family. Thank you so much. Mr. Jordan, my baby, y'all. Jordan, he didn't want to tell y'all, but Jordan was actually one of my former students. He was my student. He was my little baby. I saved him a lot, but then I also encouraged his parents to whoop his butt a lot. But I did save him a lot. He was my troubled child, but we're not going to talk about his past because look at him now. So Jordan, I'm so proud of you.
All right, so this time, students, we will look to your teacher.